Let's talk about some of the hottest sports cards of the week. Welcome, everybody. I'm Coach Co. You are tuning into Sports Cards Pro, the website that helps you track the value of your sports cards. And we are going to be doing the hottest sports cards over the course of the last 7 days by category. We are going to jump on over to the Sports Cards Pro app. We are going to go into the tools feature. Now, the features that we are going to talk about today, specifically sales volume data, is part of the premium features of this website. For just $6 a month, you get access to this and many other features. However, just for being a part of the Sports Cards Pro community, today you're going to have access to it absolutely for free, just for participating in this video. So we have here basketball to start us off. Ja Morant's Panini Chronicles is still very high on this list in terms of 7-day volume. We discussed in a previous video as to why that is. We are going to go into this LeBron James card because we haven't featured it on the channel just yet. This is his 2003 Topps, 26 sales and an average of $255 as of right now. This card got as high as $1,173 back in its prime. Now, it is down to about $255, like I said. In terms of ungraded copies, you got about one per day. PSA 10s are going for about $1,800, 9 5s, $847, a 9, $435. If you get an 8, it's actually worth less than a raw copy. Now, you'll see that very frequently, actually, when it comes to cards in general. So generally speaking, the PSA 8 is like that raw range. 9s realistically should be higher, especially when it comes to older cards. Like this one is about 20 years old. And PSA 10 is a considerable markup. So not sure why LeBron James stuff is going or is popular right now. I mean, LeBron James is one of the GOATs, so that's probably why. We're going to go into baseball. 105 in terms of sales volume. Now, volume does look like it's down a little bit, except for Jason Dominguez. There's 100 sales of this guy's cards. Look at this volume. This card was about $9.50 just last week, and it is up to about $16.32. He has been on an absolute tear since joining the MLB. He's got 4 home runs in 7 games, if I'm not mistaken. He's 20 years old, nicknamed the Martian. And this is a guy that people have been waiting for quite some time. Now, his PSA 10 copies are selling for about $89 now. 9 5s about $55, and a 9 will run you about $24. So there's still a little bit of a bump up in terms of a 9 versus ungraded. That being said, this is a card that was plentiful and a lot of people put a lot of money into early on during the hype train of 2020 and 2021. So proceed with caution is all I'm going to say, especially when it comes to prospecting. All right, team. Next up on our list, we have football, and there's no surprise here, in my opinion. So Deion Sanders is number 30T. So out of his Topps traded is the highest selling card on this list. Not in terms of price, but in terms of volume. This card raw is about $5.73. Back in July, it was about $2.96. So it's about 2 times what it was. Down here, you have access to our Pop Report feature, which is pretty cool. It actually shows you exactly how many cards have been graded and in which grade. So 8s are 13. There's 1,360 of them, which is about $13. 9s, there's about 4,414 of them. Cost you about $28. And then these 10s are roughly $110, and there's about 3,000 of them. So lots of information with the Sports Cards Pro feature, or with the Sports Cards Pro website, rather. The reason why this card is popping off, in my opinion, I don't know if it's this specific card, but Deion Sanders is now coaching the Colorado Buffaloes. And I mean, I have fallen in love with him over the course of the last 3 weeks. So undoubtedly other people have as well. His pressers have been iconic. It's a feel-good story in college football. I'm definitely rooting for him. So undoubtedly other people are rooting for him too. I have made this conversation several times on this channel where if someone is in the news, generally speaking, you're going to see volume increase, whether, it results in a positive price or a negative price. In this case, it's a very positive story, so it's a positive price, but volume increases with news. So if you're looking to liquidate some of your stuff, when they're in news is probably the best time to do something like that. Next up, we've got Hacky. Cole Caulfield is still tops this list. I think it might be 4 weeks in a row this guy's tops this list. For some reason, Alexander Romanov is high on this list. We're going to go into a legend. That is Stevie Y. 14 sales over the course of the last week. This PSA 10 is a banger, very tough grade. There's only 79 of them in existence, and it'll run you about $900. Nines are about $151, so a big price discrepancy between that 9 and 10. In fact, even a massive price discrepancy between that 9.5 and a 10. So this is really interesting, and I wonder if this gap will close a little bit over the course of time. But as you can see here, we take advantage of the pop report as well. Stevie Y is Steve Yzerman, for those of you who don't know who Stevie Y is. Played fantastic for Detroit, is now the GM of Detroit, so he kind of had a homecoming. Not quite sure why this card is popular right now. Perhaps people are, searching through some of the prices of today's players, and they're like, well, this guy hasn't accomplished anything, and the Stevie Y rookie card is $16. So it's a pretty good headspace to be in general, in terms of collecting and in terms of establishing a price for some of these ultra modern players. Next on our list, we've got racing. This thing started featuring about a month ago and has since gained in popularity on our site. 23 in terms of 7-day volume for this 24H card. So volume has increased substantially. This is the highest I've seen in terms of volume for any one racing card. We got Lewis Hamilton's 2021 Topps Chrome Chartreuse is fairly high on this list with 5 sales, if I'm not mistaken. PSA 10 copies of this, $43.71. Nines are $8. 9.5s are $27. So as more people continue to purchase F1 products, racing products, as we start to accumulate more and more data points, you're going to see some of these values change. You're going to see some of these charts change, and it's going to be very interesting to be able to interpret that moving forward. So for now, you get access to the volume, and we don't really have a ton of concrete data from past. Next up on this list, we've got soccer. And we've got Gavi relatively high on this list with his 2022 Prism World Cup card. This is his rookie, and 14 in terms of sales volume. This is a card that I distinctly remember being quite high in terms of price, about $5, and now it's down to about $1. So the Gavi hype has definitely tapered off considerably. He's a fantastic player, super young midfielder. So midfielders don't generally command a massive price tag unless they're scoring tons of goals. And that's probably why there's a drop off in price. Also, I find a lot of times people get impatient when it comes to soccer prospecting. I think it should be viewed more as baseball prospecting, where you're holding this guy for a considerable amount of time. But market does what the market wants. So PSA 8s are $3, bananas. 9s are $10. PSA 10s are $22. So honestly, there's little to no scenario where I would be grading this card. Like, unless this super sentimental, your friend gave it to you and you're never going to sell this card ever, I really would not grade this card. It costs minimum $15 to grade. A best case scenario, you get a 10, you make $4 or $5. It's very risky in my opinion. Like I said, grade what you want. I just try to give you guys as much data and information as possible so you can make informed decisions. All right, next we got UFC on this list. Tatiana Suarez out of the 2020 Topps UFC Knockout Set, 8 in terms of sales volume. This card is about $2. It was as high as $6 for a few months. It's gone down a little bit. There are no PSA 10s and there are no 9s or 9.5. This card just came out, or I guess it didn't just come out, but there are just no sales. No one has graded these. These are the green variation as well. Tatiana Suarez seems to be popping off. I definitely want to look at this one moving forward. So in the next few videos, you can be rest assured that we're going to try to tap into this and find out exactly why this volume is increased. All right, team, last on the docket, we've got wrestling. We've got Bray Wyatt high on this list again. We're going to go into this Andre the Giant 1987 Topps WWF 4 in terms of sales volume. This pretty iconic card, one of his earlier cards. I don't believe it's his rookie, but in terms of eye appeal, it's definitely up there. Ungraded copies are about $6.36 back in October. They have settled around $5. PSA 10s are $90, 9 to 5s, $82. Like I said, see, that's a lot closer than Iserman was, whereas there was like a 5x price discrepancy. Didn't really make much sense to me, but this is much closer. 9s even are pretty close. As you can see, $75. The 8s are still a little bit of a bump up. So if this was a card that you were looking to grade, as long as you got a good copy, I mean, you can probably break even with an 8 and maybe take your chance on a 9. So I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the hottest sports cards of the week. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, share. Let us know if there's a player that you've seen a lot of people are asking for at shows, maybe at your local card shop. Maybe we can dig into that card specifically and try to find out why. For now, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Coach Co and Sports Cards Pro are out of here. Peace.